I have been driving the same subway line for 11 years. Line 4, northbound, the late shift 10 at night until 6 in the morning. Most people think it is a lonely job, and they are right. But after a while, lonely becomes normal, comfortable. You start recognizing the sounds of the tunnel, the way the steel hums when the train hits a certain speed, the low groan the tracks make just before the curve at Merton Station. Everything becomes a rhythm. It is just part of the job, or at least it was, until about 4 months ago. It started with something small, the kind of thing you brush off. The 11:47 p.m. train, light passenger load, maybe 8 people across 3 cars. I always count them before leaving the station, a habit, maybe a superstition. I just like knowing exactly who I am responsible for. We left Dunmore Station and entered the long tunnel stretch between Dunmore and Calloway. About 2 kilometers. No stations, no lights except the safety markers every 100 meters. Just the train as headlights cutting through complete darkness. That is when I saw it. Not directly, just in the corner of my eye. Something moving along the left tunnel wall, keeping pace with the train. I turned my head, nothing. Just concrete rushing past at 60 kilometers an hour. I told myself it was a reflection, light bouncing off the glass. The tunnel plays tricks on your eyes after years of staring into it, so I ignored it, finished my shift, went home, slept fine. The second time happened 3 nights later, same time, same stretch of tunnel, but this time I saw it clearly, for about 4 seconds, and 4 seconds is a long time when you are moving that fast. Something pale was running beside the train, very pale. Its body was low to the ground but not crawling. Not exactly, more like crouched, knees bent, back folded inward. The shape looked compressed, wrong, like something that wasn't built to move the way humans do. But the part that really stuck with me was the speed. We were moving 60 kilometers per hour, and it was keeping up, perfectly.
Its legs moved in a smooth, rhythmic motion, almost like it wasn't running.
Like it was mimicking the idea of running. Then one of the safety lights flashed between us and it was gone. Just darkness again. I sat there gripping the controls trying to remember how normal breathing worked. That night I filed a report, possible trespasser in the Dunmore-Calloway tunnel. Maintenance crews checked the entire stretch the next morning. Every entrance, every corridor, they found nothing. No footprints, no damage, no sign anyone had been there. The report is still marked unresolved.
I told my supervisor about it. Marin. She's been working the line longer than I have. She listened quietly, hands folded on her desk. When I finished, she asked me one question. Are you sleeping enough? She said drivers sometimes see things during long monotony. Micro-sleeping. Your brain shutting off for a few seconds while your eyes stay open. Dreaming for 4 seconds at a time. I told her that wasn't happening. She nodded slowly. Then she said something strange. Something I still think about. She said the old drivers, the ones who worked this line back in the 80s, used to call that tunnel stretch something. They called it the long room. I asked why. She hesitated. Then she said, they said it had a habit. I asked what kind of habit. She looked down at her desk and said quietly, showing you things. Then she changed the subject, and I didn't ask again. For 6 weeks after that, nothing happened. No movement. No shapes. No pale thing running beside the train. Eventually I convinced myself it had been my imagination. A trick of light. A worker in reflective gear. An animal. Anything with a logical explanation. I started to relax again. Then one night, the train stopped. It was a Tuesday. February. Full power failure. Not just my train. The entire line. When that happens, everything dies at once. Lights, controls. Radio. For about 90 seconds you are sitting in complete darkness inside a tunnel. It's happened before. Usually it's no big deal, but that night, we were stopped in the middle of the long room, almost exactly halfway between stations, a kilometer in either direction. Emergency lights flickered on. Dim amber strips along the ceiling, just enough light to see. I called the control room and reported our position. 6 passengers on board, everyone calm. They told me power would return in a couple minutes, so I waited. And that's when I heard it. The knocking. It started in the last car. 3 slow knocks. 2 seconds apart. My first thought was a passenger. Someone panicking. Trying to get attention. Then the knocking moved. From car 3 to car 2. Too fast. There were no footsteps. No doors opening. Just another 3 knocks. Then it moved again. To car 1. 3 knocks. Slow. Patient. And then, it was at my cab door. Not loud. Not desperate. Just calm. Like whatever was out there knew exactly where I was. I stared at the small window in the door, and I made a decision. I was not going to look through it. Something inside me said that would be a mistake. Hands frozen, listening, the knocking stopped, 30 seconds of silence, then suddenly, the power came back, lights blazing, controls humming, the radio crackling with the control operator asking if everything was okay. I told the passengers we would be moving shortly. My voice sounded steady. I still don't know how. I finished the route. Reached Callaway Station. Let the passengers off. Then I sat alone in the empty train for 11 minutes before I could stand up. I filed another report. A full one this time. 2 days later a safety officer came to talk to me. He listened carefully. Very professional. Very calm. He explained every possible reason a knocking could have happened. Passengers. Metal shifting, sound vibrations traveling through the train body. He had an explanation for everything. Before leaving, he asked me one final question. During the blackout, did I look out the cab window? I told him no. He nodded slowly and said, "Good." Then he left. I still drive the line, I don't know why. Maybe I want answers. Maybe leaving feels like surrender. The long room is always dark. And I don't look at the tunnel walls anymore. I just keep my eyes on the track ahead and count the seconds until the lights of Callaway Station appear. Most nights. That's enough. But I'll tell you this. If you're ever on a late train, any late train, and the lights suddenly go out, and you hear knocking on the door, don't look through the window. I don't know what's out there. But I think it's waiting for curiosity. And I think that's how it gets you.